I turned 40 this year in May, and just after I turned 38, I stopped drinking. Um, I don't really know why I stopped. I just stopped, and it's turned out to be quite a good idea. Um, and I've been drinking since at school. So at school, I was a boarder at school, and on Friday evenings we were given little tokens, and we could buy drinks in the school bar. From whatever age you could start drinking, I forget now. So for a year and a half or so, when I was at age at school, I was sort of learning to drink every week, and then that sort of continued on to university in quite a big way. And then I got a job in London, and there was a big drinking culture in London, and then that sort of continued. And at some point between starting drinking as a child and sort of me just turning 38, it became not normal. I guess my relationship with alcohol was probably not normal. I still think it was. I still can't get my head around the fact that I was doing something different to other people. Um, but I guess I was, and it's only now, having stopped drinking for 2.5 years or so, that I've been able to realize actually, what I was doing, how it was impacting my life, um, was not really normal. So yeah, so I've stopped drinking for 2.5 years. Why did I go alcohol free in the first place? A lot of people. My wife was telling me I was drinking too much. I was sort of seeing how it was impacting my day-to-day functioning. Um, and I think, I looked at what my priorities should be, and my priority should be my sort of then 4-year-old child, um, doing a decent good job at work, being a decent husband, being a decent a son to my parents. My dad, interestingly, my dad stopped drinking 5, 6 years ago. And I thought, well, my priorities really should be those things. It shouldn't really be drinking. And I realized that actually, I'm not a sort of person that can drink in moderation. And if I can't drink in moderation, then I probably need to stop drinking. So that's really the reason why I stopped. There are various points in time over the last, since I was sort of 18 through to 38, when I thought I need to probably stop. And there have been times when I've stopped for a month. Dry January was always very difficult. I never quite got to the end. Um, but yes, I guess it's been tough if you look at it from the perspective of I've had 20 years to try and stop drinking, and I've only just recently sort of succeeded in that. But actually, when I made the decision one morning when I was hungover, not being able to really do anything, care for my child and look after and be a decent husband and do some work. Since then, actually, it's been very easy. It's been easy because it's not like I've just stopped for a time. If I just stop for a time in my mind, like for dry January, you would think, oh, it's just there's just a few days left. There's just a week left until the end of the month. I might as well drink now. I've pretty much got there. It's fine. But now that there's no end date, it's so easy. You don't think like that. And what's been really good in sort of social situations is this sort of alcohol-free beer, a lifesaver, probably quite literally. You can sort of fit in, because drinking for me was often about just fitting in, having a glass in your hand, making you feel slightly better than you would otherwise do. And having an alcohol free option is fantastic, particularly as it tastes vaguely similar to beer. And you sort of fit in. So it's been quite easy actually, so far. So I've noted down five reasons which I'm going to go through, and I guess it's different for everyone. But the thing is, well, when I was drinking, I didn't care about getting alcohol free at all. It was just so fun. It was just the best thing drinking, and it still is. And I'll go back in a heartbeat. But I guess I now have different priorities. Um, so these are sort of retrospective look backs at the five reasons why actually it's been a good idea. The first is just the everyday joys. And what do I mean by that? I mean, when I was drinking, I would read a book and, maybe have a glass of wine with it. That'd make it better, wouldn't it? Or settle down to watch a movie. Oh, a beer with some crisps and watch the movie. That's a good idea. Or I'll go to the gym, and then at the weekend, oh, actually, let's have a beer after going to the gym because there's a cafe in the gym. Um, and all these things, all these everyday things would just be associated with beer, and you'd really, and they were pale in comparison to having a drink. Because having a drink and being and getting lubricated is fantastic. It is absolutely brilliant, and it's much better than lots of other things. So all these little everyday things like reading a book, spending time with family, watching a movie, going to the gym, they're now much more pleasurable. So the highs of having a drink have leveled off, and now I enjoy much more these everyday things without alcohol involved. So that's been fantastic. So my life has got more colourful, I guess, because of that. The second thing is I've found that when I've stopped drinking, uh, when I was drinking, there was lots of highs and lows. It seemed I was very excitable or down at various points in time. But my wife now tells me I'm more balanced, I'm more calm, and I've felt that. So I get less stressed, um, which has been great actually because I've overworked over the last couple of years. There's been a few sort of interesting work events that have been quite stressful. But I've felt now much more calm and balanced. I don't have these highs and lows. It's great. You feel like a sort of normal person. Um, and I have more time. I have so much more time to do things. I'm not having to worry about, recovering from drinking too much the night before. Um, if I go to a social event after work on the train in the evening after, I can do some work on the train because I'm not drunk. It's just I have so much time to do things. And I've sort of filled that time, which has been really good. Health wise, I had lots of little niggly health things when I was drinking. Um, like tiny little things, not major things. Not gonna die or anything. But they've all gone. All these little things I thought was normal for as I aged. I thought it was an age thing. No, it was a drinking thing, and those sort of little health niggles have stopped. Um, and then lastly, the fifth thing, reasons why going alcohol free is worth considering is, I mean, your family. If you're at a stage where you think continuing to drink is not going to prolong your life, then you probably owe it to your family to stop really, and then give them a few extra weeks, months, years of your life, which hopefully find some wood to touch that I've done. It's sort of given me more color to my life at home and my general life. At work, it's been a big change. So, drinking was a big part of my life and a big part of how I was at work. Um, I would instigate drinks in the mid-afternoon if the team had been working really hard. I'd be the first to arrive and last to leave at the pub in the evening after work. Um, I'm not a particularly sociable person, as you know, Catherine. I am quite introvert, and having a drink really helped that, particularly with the team at work, with clients. None of my clients really wanted to go out drinking with me. They love compliance, but they didn't like it enough to go out drinking too much. Um, so yeah, that's been a big change. So I don't put myself in situations now really in the evenings to go out drinking after work. I have a couple of alcohol-free pints, if that, and then bugger off home. Um, so it's been a massive change. I was never much fun. I'm now less fun at work, I think, after work at least. Um, But so what? It's it doesn't really matter. It hasn't really impacted my ability to do my job or how clients see me, or I don't think how the team sees me. Um, and because I mean, in the past, I used to when I was interviewing people, and I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, when I was interviewing people, I used to just check that they did actually drink because I felt that drinking was good, and if you didn't drink, you would not fit in with the team, which is a terrible position to take, and I have to admit I had that position. But now one of those people that several years ago I thought, oh, you're a bit odd, aren't you? How are you going to fit in with the team and not drink? But actually now in where I am in the business I work in, lots of the youngsters that join us, they don't drink, or if they do, they drink in tiny amounts in moderation. So probably in our business, there's maybe, 20, 25%, 30% who either don't drink at all or drink absolutely minuscule amounts. So I think, increasingly the workforce is moving in that direction. In general, office environments are heavy drinking environments in London, and I think the the age of the people that are running those teams and offices are such that they are probably drinkers. They're not that young. They might not be ancient, but they're probably drinkers, and they probably bring that culture to the after work social environment. Um, and I guess it's very good. It's a very good thing that senior people don't drink it. It maybe develops a more inclusive culture. Um, but yeah, I don't think it's materially where I am. I don't think it's materially changed the dial in terms of the culture in the business. I think that culture is changed by the youngsters joining rather than what the old people. I'm only 40, but yeah, what the old people do. Yeah, I would say that you should think about what your priorities are, and if your priorities are family, work, your kids, your parents, your wife, your siblings, your health. Think about is drinking helping you achieve all those other things? All your other priorities in life is just drinking helping you? And if it's not, just stop. Um, you know, but it's tough because it's addictive. It is. People drink for and become alcoholics because it's addictive. So it's very difficult to stop. But yeah, so just think about the priorities and make a choice as to what's the right priorities for you. And for me, it was, my priorities were other things, and they've been impacted too much by my drinking.